I tell you, we had a moment. We were driving, and she was like, "Ugh," and I was like, "What's going on, babe?" And she was like, "You know, I just want someone else on me." And I was like,
It had been,
I'm driving. I'm like,
he was like, what?
"Wait, excuse me." I was like, what do you mean you just want somebody
You
else
know,
on? And look, she was in her own world. She was just like,
just staring out the window.
you
And
know,
it didn't mean exactly that. What I meant was we had been in a relationship for
a long time.
probably 10 years by then. Or
No, it was like seven
maybe
years.
7 year itch, you know what they say. And, I had missed, like you miss when you get married, that moment that you guys meet for the first time and he walks you to your door and you're like, oh, is this going to be a thing? Is it not going to be? The butterflies, all those things when you're dating people, the spontaneity, all those little things. And I had just gotten to a point where I was like, oh, I'm never going to have a first kiss again with someone. I'm never going to get that like anxious feeling again when you're first dating someone and you don't know where it's going. And it was more like a realization of all of that stuff. And I was like, oh God, I'm going to have to let that go. Like those butterfly feelings. And you have butterflies when you're married for a long time, but it's just,
They're
it's
different
different.
butterflies.
It's different.
They're
Your
not
life
real
difference.
butterflies.
They're like moths. They're like moths.
They don't, they don't got pretty colors no more. They just beige.
Ones that like flutter towards the light.
They just beige. Maybe got a hole in the wing.
So say you're for the streets without saying you're really for the streets, baby. She just embarrassed this guy, and he's narrating the story, obviously, but they have a relationship where they're like buddies, where they can talk like, this is that Will Smith, Jada Pinkett type stuff, where you can just say whatever. I'm just so used to, I miss men being all over. I want someone on me. I want someone on me. Well, baby, you might need to open up the marriage like they did. Because one thing that's for sure is that people like newness. Men like newness. Women like newness. Women are vain. I always say this. Women like attention. Women are vain. Women like newness. They like to be complimented. They like to be told they're attractive. They like to have an abundance of men and women that give them that feeling. And if your husband or your boyfriend's not doing that for you, what does that say? So some women will say that they're content, but she's saying something that a lot of women are thinking at the end of the day. They just feel like it's taboo and it's frowned upon by saying such a thing. That this has gotten old with this guy. Yeah, you might love him, but you love that feeling, that excitement, that thrill of what she said, that butterfly feeling. And I don't think that this is exclusive just to her. There are a ton of women that feel this way. And guys, you just have to come to that conclusion. You can't stress yourself out or, oh my goodness, I got the biggest dick in the world. Oh, there's no way in hell I got all the money. That doesn't mean anything. That's why you can't be all over a woman. Like she said, a woman should be messed up over you. She should be thinking about you constantly. It may mitigate some of these things, but she's still going to have these thoughts. And that's just a part of being human. But for her to say this to this guy and to be comfortable saying that, no woman should be, I know the lady's going to say something about this. No woman should be comfortable enough to just tell that to a man. You know what? Y'all just ride in the car one day. You know what? I just want someone on me. I just wish more guys would be on me. I just wish, that's almost like the whole Steph Curry and Aisha Curry, where she was like, I wish that more men would be on me or try to hook up with me and things like that. This is what women think. They want to control monogamy. They want to exercise options, but they want you to just be monogamous to them while they exercise their options. For her to truly be into you, she has to feel like she can lose you and that other women want you. And it has to always feel that way to her. It has to always feel that way to her. Guys, she has to feel like somehow you're better than her, and I hate to use that term, but that this guy can leave me. This guy he's romantic, he's sexy, he says these things, he does these things, but he's not smothering me with attention.
I had a career and a life and all of these things before I met him, especially married to an athlete. I found a lot once I wasn't gone and I was home and I was going to all the games. The value that people had for me was not the same value that people had for him. Like, they assumed that I was so lucky to be married to an athlete, which was so far away from who I was as a human being, that when people approached me that way, like, they wouldn't even call me my name. They would call me Ephraim's wife. And I'd be like, I have a name. Yeah. And so there was a whole part of our relationship where I had to learn how to gain my independence back without the independence that I had worked so hard for, and what I connected to as independence as far as my career and things like that were concerned. And that was very difficult.
And you can say, JR, I give my woman attention. A woman can say, well, he has to be giving me attention. She'll get tired. It'll never be enough. One man, you can't compete with social media, and you can't compete with all the guys out there, especially if you have a beautiful woman. You hope that she would be dedicated and would never step out on you. But this is just how it is when you have a beautiful woman. Even if she's butt ugly, she will still get to that point where she's like, man, I just love it when men compliment me. I love it when a man says this. I love it. Women flirt. And it's okay for a woman to flirt, but if you flirt, it's a problem. And women have said this. So my ex-wife, and I think I've mentioned this in a video in the past, a guy was walking up to her, talking to her, and I had stepped away and did something, and she was engaging this guy. She was actually having a conversation with him trying to rap to her or whatever. So I woke up, I'm like, yo, what's going on here? Man, ain't nobody want your girl. This is when I was in my early 20s. And he's like, ain't nobody want your girl? I said, yo, come here. I said, she was just talking to you? He was like, yeah. I was like, okay, bet. So I went over there and I talked to her and I checked her ass that night. So you can't ever, if a woman thinks that she can get away with certain things, she's going to continue to do it. If she embarrassed you once, she will do it continuously. And some dudes are just that much of a simp. Some dudes are cucks, as they say, and will let her bring another man into the situation where he's banging your old lady because you're not enough. Some of you guys go for far too much and she loses all respect and attraction for you, but she'll still let you take care of her and whatever kids you guys may have. True story. These are facts, guys. And you guys know this to be true too. It's unfortunate, but you have to set the tone when you're with a woman for her to know what she can and can't say. This man is obviously, and he puts it under the guise of, we're best friends, we could tell each other anything, whatever, so on and so forth. Maybe that might be their dynamic, but it still doesn't look good as a husband. Because it appears that you're falling short, you're not fulfilling some things when it's just her vanity. It's just something that she just wants to do. I wish women would just admit that. It doesn't matter how much attention he gives me. I just need it from other sources. And let that be that, man. But anyway, I could be off. Let me know what you guys think, though. Comment below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit me up on Linktree to book a one-on-one with yours truly. Purchase all my books, merch, t-shirts. It helps us support the channel. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. With that being said, much blessings and abundance. Stick around for the next video that's going to pop up below. And that's where I'm going to see you guys at. This is Wisdom. I'm out of here. Peace.
Yeah. 50 Cent. 50. Part 2.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
Can't forget Tony.
50.
UK.